Hey guys, it's Kira with Polymer Clay TV, and today I'm going to show you how to use our brand new metallic gilding waxes. And they're so cool. They come in a set, and we've got 4 different colors that work really well with the polymer clay. This one is vintage green gold. It photographs kind of dark, but you can see that it's got a green gold shimmer to it. We've got patina, amethyst, and blush, and I've got some examples for you, and I'm going to show you real quick how I did these. So I used some stencils, I used a texture sheet, I did some antiquing, some stenciling, some stippling and texturing. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Don't forget to check out our blog, polymerclaytv.com, for lots more ideas. And the stencils and the pastes and everything you can find at the shop at createalong.com. So today we have this delicious, fun product. And here I'm going to try to show you how pretty these colors are on the clay, and then we'll open the jars. So this is a gilding wax, and it's got a lot of sparkly mica powder in it and beautiful, beautiful color. And we picked these 4 colors because we thought they were really awesome when we saw them in person. And we've got a teal, a purple, an olive green that's sort of like a green gold, and blush. And the blush color is this faint light pink with a sort of, it's hard to explain how pretty it is. It's for those of you who love the pastel shimmer. It doesn't have any gold in it. It's just a cool pink. It would probably look really great on a darker clay, but I did it on white for the test sample. So this is on baked clay. So here we have, that's this color. It's blush. And they come in these little twist off, easy to open containers. This is the purple. It's got a bit of blue to it. It's a bluish purple. It's called amethyst. This is patina. It's a teal color, like the patina that you would see on copper. Statue of Liberty kind of a color. And then this is it's called vintage golden green. And that's exactly what it is. It's sort of a deep green gold color. So these are, you might compare them in your mind to something like Inca Gold or Gilder's Paste. These are not water-based. These are wax-based. And I'm going to go ahead and show you just with a stencil. I'm just going to make a little project using them. So the reason we really love these, they feel kind of like a cream blush is how you would describe it. They're really easy to pick up and smooth on, and they're just like a cream blush, and they don't smell really bad. Like they have a scent to them, like almost fruity, almost like an essential oil fruity kind of a smell. So you do want to use them in a ventilated area, but it's nothing like some of the other waxes that we have worked with where you feel like you want to leave the room because they have such a strong sort of chemical odor. These do smell, but they kind of smell natural. It's hard to explain. Let's try these on some dark colored clays so that you can see the difference here. So what I'm going to do with this piece, I'm just going to trim this up a little, get these raggedy edges off, and I'm going to stamp into this with a texture mat. Because this one, I want to apply this paste after baking and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and use, this is the Garden Party texture mat from the shop. To impress a texture on my piece of clay, nice and deep. My oven is on, so I'm going to go ahead and toss this in the oven right now so I can show you what that looks like after baking when we antique the piece with that beautiful patina color. So for the purple, I pulled out a stencil. Well, this is the 9 geometric stencil from the shop, and let's mess around with this one right here. And the way I like to do this is to roll the stencil in so that I get it embedded and the clay kind of pops up so that it has a texture to it that comes from the stencil. And I'm using an improvised roller because I can't find my acrylic rod, but you know, you go with the flow. Go with whatever you got. So this stuff is great because it's creamy and smooth and it's easy to pick up and lay down. The other thing that's awesome about it is the fact that you can blend the colors because they kind of stay wet. So I've got the blush pink in the center there, and I'm just using a paper towel. Comes off your finger real easy. And I'm just going to go outward with the green, just beyond where I laid the pink down, and even kind of overlapping. And it kind of blends into each other. And for the final, see, it comes right off. The final color, I will use the patina, but I wanted to show you that if you prefer to use tools like a brush, this is a stenciling brush. This one came from the buttercream line, which you can get at Joann's Fabrics, but you can get stenciling brushes everywhere. This one is a Faber-Castell one that comes with the gelatos, but I have found this brush kind of sheds, so you got to be careful. But I am going to use this small one, and this is why. I just wanted to show you that you can pick up a little of this color. Okay, and then you can kind of stipple it on, which gives you not only the color, but also a texture. Because this is a stiff-haired brush, and you can see that the wax goes a long, long way. All the way around that design without picking up more fresh wax. And then if you wanted to maybe get a little in the middle to bring it all together, and then use your paper towel to kind of swirl off that excess paint and clean up your brush. If you wanted to clean it completely off, I am suspecting that you might want to use odorless mineral spirits because it's sort of a waxy oil-based product, and that works really well as a solvent to clean that stuff up. But we're just going to release this, and look at how pretty this is. I gotta hold it up for you so that you can see not only the pretty metallic colors, but also the texture that comes from using a stencil and from using the stippling brush. We're getting a texture and color on the outside edge. So it's smooth where I used my finger, and it's textured where I used the the tool. Okay, so now let's clean off our stencil. And this is so simple. If this were some other kind of wax, I would have to probably feel like my stencil was going to always be that color because a lot of times the waxes don't come off, they dry so fast. But this stuff takes a while. You have time to blend it and let it dry, and you'll notice that I'm using it prior to baking. We have tested it and it works great in the oven. But basically my stencil is pretty much clean, just from a paper towel. Because this stuff comes right off with a dry rag. So you don't have to feel like you're ruining your stencils when you use it. It's a piece of something. But see, it's pretty clean. So we'll set that aside, and I just wanted to show you on the purple. I'm going to do purple on purple. And I figured, you know, not everyone has these fancy tools, so we're going to use the old standby, which is an old toothbrush that has been given the new task of crafting. And you might want to try using your finger first, because that lays down all that pretty color easily. And then if you wanted to come back with the toothbrush, actually, I can't help myself. I'm going to have to use another color too. So I think I'll grab a little bit of this patina and put it in the middle there and kind of let it blend out to the edge. And just use my toothbrush to give it that texture. So you need to just look around you at the various things that you have access to and think of everything as a tool. Okay, so now when we pull this back, we're going to have purple on purple, but the souffle clay is matte and the wax is metallic, so you get this shiny raised stippled effect that's really, really cool. So there are so many different ways to use this wax. I'm going to show you when that brown piece comes out of the oven, and I've got a couple other things baking too. I've got some pieces fresh out of the oven. They are cool, but I wanted to show you how I did them. So I used this stencil that has multiple kind of leaf or ornament or feather shapes on it, depending on how you see such things. And I started with a base of Sculpey Souffle that I mixed together a latte and white to get this sort of light brown color. So I swiped pan pastels across the surface of the clay to get a sort of variegated look, and then I put my stencil down just the way I just showed you, and I used all the different colors to create these raised and interesting designs featuring all those metallic waxes across the surface. So now that they're baked, I just wanted to show you that sometimes you might get a little bit of residue coming off on your finger, and the way to fix that is to buff them. So I'm just going to take a clean side of my paper towel, wrap it around my finger, and give it a quick buffing, and that will remove any sort of excess. There's really not that much. It's kind of the dark color that you notice it with, but it buffs it to a sheen, and it removes any excess that didn't quite dry in the oven. And what happens is sometimes you'll get like a little glop, or it just won't dry all the way, so you just buff it real quick like I just showed you, and you're good to go. So let's play with this piece that I had baked as an example. I'm just going to push these off to the side and probably use them to make a necklace or something. But I'm going to use the patina color and my stencil brush that I had already gotten with the patina color on it. And I'm going to load some paint onto the brush and actually paint it onto the piece, because what I'm going to do now is wipe it off, just like I was antiquing paint. So I'm going to wipe it off the high parts while allowing it to stay in the low parts. And see, a little bit comes off on the paper towel, which it's supposed to. But if you keep working it, you will get that antiqued look, which is awesome. Where you're really seeing the metallic has gone down into the cracks, and the top of the design now is what's pretty much clear of the paint. Now I told you might want to use odorless mineral spirits as a way to clean up. So what we'll do now is I'll show you, you can put a little of that on your rag just by going like that real quick, and use that area to buff off even more of the color from the top surfaces, so that you really get that antiqued look where the clay is pretty much free of the color and the color has gone down into the cracks. And this is the perfect way to make it look like aged copper or even aged leather. Depends on what color or combination of colors that you use, and then you can go ahead and use this to clean off your brush as well and get all the excess off of your stencil brush using the mineral spirits. So the mineral spirits are really odorless, they don't smell at all. And you can see I just keep this little bottle of it in my studio for things like this. When you're using something, a product that has a solvent in it, you might want to have some around just to do different effects, because you don't need it. You can wash your brush off on a paper towel and get most of this off just by rubbing it. And I'm not going to worry that I still see a little, of the patina color on there, because it doesn't matter. I'm going to use my other waxes with this brush and I don't care. But this is an option if you want something to use to do that real clean look. And you can just have fun with this product. It's so much fun to mix and blend and play with the different colors, and you can create something really cool. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and you can find the metallic gilding waxes at the shop at createalong.com.